because he started going on about June the 31st, which is when his contract ends.
June the what?
31st.
Get downloading the One Football app. It is free. The link is in the description for that. All the latest news, your transfers, your gossip, stats with Newcastle United. Every football fan needs it. I wish I was on that boat, Mark. You don't know what I'm talking about there, do you? Think there, did you? Right, everyone, welcome to the review. We're not at the game, as I've said, if any of you have seen the quick thoughts, because they're sold out and we weren't going to pay 80 quid, whatever it was, for an neutral ticket. We've got the live show, which would have already been filmed by now, so go and check that out. So Mark, it's the final. Before we get on to the game, let's touch upon the final thoughts of today. Manchester City winning the title. It's a shame on Liverpool, 97 points, and then unfortunately them getting out.
It is, but it just shows you money gets you everything.
That's Mark's little polite dig at Manchester City, I'm guessing there then, is it? But it's an incredible achievement.
Liverpool, Mike Ashley.
Okay, I guess you could take it in both ways as well, but congratulations Manchester City, even though I don't want to say that, I still want Liverpool to win it.
Quick question, who's the only team to take points off them since the 30th of December to the end of the season?
That would be us. So, congratulations, celebrations in Manchester. Like I say, I would have liked to see Liverpool win it. I know there's a bit of caveat in St James's Park, but that's only the small minority. But we're here to talk about our 4-0 thumping away win. A bit of an experimental, you might say, match day squad, I'll say that, rather than 11, because he had a couple of youngsters. Happy to see the youngsters on the bench?
Yeah, well, I've been calling for it all week. I've said, look, we haven't really got anything to play for. We could have maybe moved up or down one place, which isn't really going to be that much. I would like to have seen, like I said, I was looking more like the Victor Fernandez and Sorensen, but we've got to look at the fact that the under-23s have got a big game on Monday, so do you really want to risk your big players like Sorensen in a game like this?
For those that don't know, it's the playoff final, so the under-23s win on Monday night, they go up a division. So apart from that, we'll talk about the game. The first goal, it's very much, remember Scholes against Bradford years ago, but obviously Shelby left it bounce this time. It was clearly routine, wasn't it?
I think it was, because Richie aimed it perfectly at Shelby there, so I think it'd been worked on the training ground all week.
Some goal.
It was.
Give me more.
It was, and you never know. Let's hope it's Shelby staying next season.
Well, I've already said that you should do, just for squad depth. A fantastic finish, 1-0 up. In the first half, we'll talk about the second goal in a minute, but the first half, Fulham dominated the possession and the shots, but they weren't clinical enough in that second goal. Sergio Rico, I've said this in the previews, he's got an error in him.
Yeah, where's Mitrovic?
Good shout, but Atsu with a weak shot, and he's got to be just picking that up, and it falls to Perez. Thank you very much. There's another goal for him.
I'll come on with the keeper though. That weak shot could have went in though. You never know with him though. So Atsu might have thought, well, I'll just try it. You never know. But Perez on hand to pick up and put it in the back of the net. He's on form so far the second half of the season.
Hey man, Rondon more and Rondon in a sec. But 2-0 half time, pretty comfortable. Like I say, it was almost like, it does feel like a dead rubber game. And then it was the case of, okay, we've got that third one. It was a brilliant power header by that man who was my player of the year, Fabian Schär. Corner comes in, bullet header. You might ask questions about the Fulham's defence. You'll keep an eye on the analyst goals, that'll come out. 3-0 game over, innit?
It is, and really, yeah, what question do we have? Yeah, the defence is crap, that's why they're getting relegated.
Question then, with 3-0 up, about 20 minutes to play, why didn't Rafa chuck one of the kids on?
With Rafa, he may have thought that they aren't at the level yet. He might have said, right, you know what, you two have been doing really well, you've done well in training, I'm going to reward you with a place on the bench, but the likelihood is I'm not going to put you on.
Just experience the whole day.
Yeah, so that's what he's probably done. He's probably thought, you know what, you've done well, you used to, I'm going to give you the full experience, coming down, going to a Premier League away day, sitting on the bench. But yeah, I think he's probably looked at that and probably thought, you know what, maybe this isn't the game to put you in. And sometimes that can be the case. Don't rush the youngsters, because sometimes if you do rush them, like we've seen with other players, it could be too soon and we could be writing them off too early.
Would have been nice to see them Lewis Cass right back from North Shields, and Kellen Watt, plays for England in midfield, but he's been playing defence for Ben Dawson's side this year. But 3-0 up, one eye's obviously on the title, obviously just looking to see what's going on elsewhere, but the fourth goal, keeper saves, there's that big beautiful man, as Kyle would say, wrapping it up, and that's the same old question, to 4-0 away win. Was that too easy for Newcastle?
I would say so, because I can't remember a 4-0 win. In fact, I can't remember a 4-0 win for Newcastle this season.
It hasn't been a 4-0 win, it's the most goals, the biggest win, most goals, isn't it? But touches upon that.
Well, it's the most goals we've scored in a Premier League game since the last game that we got relegated. So Rafa's final game of the season when he joined us after 6 games when we beat Spurs 5-1.
In the Premier League, that is. I know we've got a couple of 6-0 wins in the League Cup and the Championship. But speaking of that man, Rafa Benitez, obviously it's the end of the season. We know what we're going to be talking about next. I think you know after this short clip of Rafa, his future.
We knew that we were safe, but what I said in some interviews, the last 3 games, the team was doing everything, was giving everything. And then you could see that everybody wanted to win the game, to score, and after a clean sheet. So that is, for me, a proof of the mentality of this team, that is getting better and better in terms of this winning mentality that is necessary if you want to stay in the Premier League and achieve something more.
And then I got caught in 2 minds, to be fair. My touch sort of got away from me, but then I see the defender coming and quickly just got my shot off, and it sort of swerved underneath the bar, and I still. It was more of I can't even think about it now. Anyway, it's a flashback really, but I'll go back and watch it later.
As you know, Rafa's not giving anything away, but he has hinted on, Mark, that signs are there that he's going to be signing on that dotted line. There's a question mark about Jose Perez again coming out this week, whether that's a ploy to get a new deal. Does he deserve the new deal? I think so. And obviously Solomon Rondon. You could probably talk about another 6 or 7 more, half a dozen players, but the players' future, do they depend on Rafa?
I think a lot of them do. I think, we might even look at Perez, whether Perez is just trying to angle for a new contract, or whether or not he's looked at the fact that he's improved under Rafa and goes, if Rafa's not here, maybe I need to look somewhere else at his future. So that could be that as well. But we've heard Rafa, and Rafa because he started going on about June the 31st, which is when his contract ends.
June the what?
31st. That's what he was saying.
June the 31st doesn't exist.
Well, that's what he was. Whether or not there's 31 days.
I know what you meant. I just clicked on straight. That was quick for me. I know what you say. Carry on.
But then he started going on about we should know more in 10 days. So I think he's probably given.
Is he signing?
I'm more confident now than I was a few weeks ago. I still think there's things that need to be ironed out. Whether or not the fact that Ashley's there for the final game of the season could be a positive in the fact that he wants to speak to Rafa, because he hasn't been since probably when.
What do you make of Ashley being there? Is it because of his future, or because it's a London game?
Well, he hadn't been to a couple of other London games. He wasn't at the West Ham game. I don't think he was at the Arsenal game. So we can look at that. He hasn't been to a few games, even though they've been local. It might be just because it's Fulham and he likes the posh areas of London. We don't know. I think we'll know more, obviously,
in the coming weeks.
Or even in the coming hours or days. Whether or not it was a discussion with that. But for Christ's sake, we
all want him to sign, didn't we? Look, we'll be keeping you up to date. Obviously, we'll be running up to the charity game next weekend, so all the videos coming up, except from tomorrow, which is on this video, will be all of the run up to the charity. So if you've got any spare change, please do. More on that in the week. And obviously, if there is anything breaking, we'll pause that and do a video on it. But league position, let's pull it up. 13th. You've said earlier on that it's a point more than what we had last season. Has it been a successful season?
Yes and no. Yes, we've stayed up, so it's a successful season, but the fact that we couldn't build on finishing in the top 10, you've got to look and say there's missed opportunities there.
However, we've got more points.
We have, but you're going to expect that. I'm not being funny, man. Liverpool's got more points than they had last season, and they've got nothing for. So you could look at that, and you could look at that. Ashley's argument could be, well, I'm not being funny, but we haven't really spent that much. We've moved up one place. Look at the amount of money Liverpool spend. They haven't even won it. So it's one of those things. But I still think we need investment.
Yeah, going to open up a whole can of worms with another video as well. Of course, as I say, the charity games are coming up. Every Sunday we've got the live radio show, anything breaking. You know, we run the Facebook page, Twitter and Instagram even as well, so if you follow us on social media, you know that it's updated every day as well. I think the Facebook page is about to hit 13,000 followers, which is fantastic. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for staying with us this season. Loads are happening over the summer. We're going to make more and more improvements, so we'll do a video on that as well, and I think you'll like it as well. Ta-da, everyone.